Greetings, queens and kings, if you stopping by. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you for joining us. Please hop in here, like, comment, subscribe. We love discussions and, the dialogue. It can be very funny sometimes. So, what do you think, family? Gary, is he adding Tamera to his harem, or is this a scheme that maybe she set up? Let's get into it. Now, one thing I must say about this season, the ladies in these vibrant colors are absolutely beautiful. This blue made Danny pop. I think it was absolutely gorgeous on her with that green. Woo, it was beautiful. And it definitely went with that background. You see the scenery of the city in the back and a blue sky. I think it was absolutely gorgeous. Now, the ladies are coming together to celebrate this beautiful queen's birthday, Sabrina, and they all gave a little speech on what they felt about her. She's getting to that pivotal age of 35, which Danny act like she wasn't the same age, but Andy had to remind her, like, we all 35, Missy. And of course, they had an alcoholic beverage for Miss Karen, who seems to be upset about that. Girl, sit down somewhere and drink your orange juice and stop complaining. But it was really cute because they each gave, really heartfelt speeches on, how they felt about Sabrina. First, they had to hear Karen's drama, of course, on how she felt about Zach and being a single mom, and she always never fails to bring that mess up. But one thing that I loved in Danny's speech is how she's, Sabrina is natural, beautiful melanated queen, and she has gorgeous skin. I love her skin, and she just always natural. Her hair, how she carries herself, her style, very bohemian, very chic, and she's upgraded on her style from last season. Because sometimes some of the things they had Sabrina and I didn't like. I said she was too beautiful for some of those outfits, but she's very stylish. She's gorgeous. I love Novi in real life. She's always on point. Beautiful sister. Now here we got Gary. Look, his nose is bleeding from the coke. Hayden's looking at him like, yo, what's up, bruh? And he making like it's nothing, putting the blood all on his shirt. I'm like, man, you don't got no tissue? That is absolutely disgusting. Oh, who was skeeved by that? So he tried to brush that off and then talk about allergies or some mess. But then Hayden, is going back into what he wants most, and that's basically taking down Andy and making sure, they still good on that. So, of course, Gary's like, yeah, he wants to take her down. He has this whole jealousy thing with her and Jordan. And, really, our boy's going to become more psychotic this season. We know the drugs has a lot more to do with that. He's a lot more diabolical. And this whole situation with Hayden, I'm looking to see if Hayden is going to wise up and pull away from Gary, because he's going to be a problem that he doesn't need. Now, Pam is on her social media kick. She's becoming this big beauty influencer. The hair products, I guess, growing the edges. She got the sister in her seat. She is really pumping up the business and doing her thing. And I think Pam is going to be a very key, integral part to Karen's money making and really taking care of this extra high rent. Now, the girls are back, and they really just sharing some moments about how Sabrina is a good friend, how she's loyal, and I think that's something that she really needed to hear. I love the sister vibe. I love how they are really there for each other, and the in vitro is going to be a lot for her to have this baby, but she's excited in being a mom, and Andy is always there for her girls, and she, just like she was to bail her out, she gave her the money for the in vitro. And she said, I'll just be there to help you with the campaign if you need anything. But thank you so much for being a sister. And I really love Andy for that, because she has her girls back. In vitro is very expensive. And if it doesn't take, you have to do it again. you may be shelling out another $15,000. And Sabrina don't have those kind of coins right now. She's just trying to get back on her feet from all this mess that happened, get her coins back up with the bank. But Andy had her back as always, so I thought that was really beautiful. Now here we go with Sabrina. She don't know what she gonna run into when she go to old Maurice and his only fans slash, you know, exotic whatever, his sex page that he on with these men. I really wish that Maurice's character really expands and get a better job than this. I don't know what this is gonna lead to, but I think there's more trouble down the line with these men that he's running to on this website. So Sabrina wanted to talk to him about her having a baby and the situation with, her and Rich, and how, it may not work out. But, the girls had their little celebration for her birthday, and he sung his little song and blew his little horn for her, in sheer Maurice fashion. But I'm really concerned about Maurice and what he's taking up with this site. I think that is something that we're going to see more down the line. He's meeting these different guys on here. I don't know how authentic they're going to be and genuine, but I really hope that's not more pain and problems for Maurice in the future. But they had their little morning chat before work, and he had to get back to work. And of course, Sabrina left him to his activities. So now this was so heartfelt. I put on my page how many were really happy, and the majority of you were really happy about the fact that they got Michael. I am too. I think this is a long time coming. I hope nothing happens with that DNA test down the line, but it looks like, Michael is really going to be theirs. The DNA test was correct, and he's just so happy. He was crying. He was just thanking Andy so much. I mean, come on. It was like a slam dunk. We see Heather's lifestyle, and we see Fatima and Michael's, and Andy proved the case as a great attorney as always. And at that time, this is when Fatima got the call. Now, at first I thought it was something about Jordan with this whole scandal with his political race, but come to find out, she got into law school, and she thought it couldn't come at the worst time. And it's like, yikes. Now they got a son. Now she's, Andy could see on her face something's going on, but he couldn't be more happier. But the thing is, I'm like, Zach, slow your roll, because at the same time, please consider the fact that this is all new to Fatima. Y'all only been together, what, a year or so? You're engaged. A lot happened to her in a year. She may possibly have 2 stepchildren, a new husband, and she has her own dreams and aspirations. Now, in the meantime, we have Danny, a little tipsy, stopping by her man's job, give him a little surprise under that beautiful, this is what I'm talking about, the colors, this beautiful yellow coat or dress or whatever it is. But that really, her little surprise, she got a little surprise of her own instead of Tony. And the fact that she found out about his children being there with all her little tatas out, all the little goodies. The son already like, is those real? I guess he never seen no tatas that big. I guess his mama isn't as well endowed. But yeah, so he sent her with his secretary or his assistant to take care of the children while he have a little chat with Danny. And she's like, you didn't fail to tell me this, that he was gonna have the children for the whole summer. Yes, that is something he should have discussed, like, first on, but I don't know if this situation with what she's going through and discovering about herself and her therapy and this new relationship with Tony and now his 2 children is a lot. What's up with the sisters and the 2 children getting hit with 2 children, right? So, wow, I know that's something to think about. So back at the shop, Pam done gathered up this whole group of people to get these hair products. And of course, Karen, like, what is going on? And wait a minute, did Pam say that she spent this woman's money again? I hope she didn't go back in this card, because when Karen addressed that, she was like, don't worry, because you're going to be rich. I'm like, that is just so disrespectful if she did do that again, because she supposed to have took a loan for this. But that didn't sound right. Now, old boy is here with the compliments again, and I think his character really shouldn't be in this right now. I don't even know why the writers put him in. I don't think Karen needs to deal with another man until she deals with this situation with this DNA test and get her life and her finances straight before a new guy comes into the picture. But she's going to let it roll because she found out they making a lot of money with this new hair care products. I hope nothing goes wrong and hair don't start falling out. But so far, so good. Now, Fatima is back at the office thanking Andy for what she did with Zach. But Andy's like, no, something else is going on. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because something's going on with you. She told her about getting into law school, but she didn't tell Zach yet. And Andy is so, of course, happy for her, following in her sister's footsteps, and that she would be a great attorney. But she said, you got to tell him. I mean, this is something that's really, really feels bad about. But Andy said, this is a time for him to support you, because Lord knows she supported him enough and very early on in their relationship. But they took on now this big task, of being a stepmom. But at the same time, don't let go of your dreams, Fatima. Don't do it. So they having their little words, of course, Hayden and Andy, and he was like, I'm going to work. And she thought, like, wait, in this business, when it comes to women and their goals, a lot of times they put it to the side for their men. And this is a season where I think the sisters are thinking about themselves over their men. So she called them and said, I can't make it, because she has a goal to be partner and she has to put in these extra hours. So off she went. She a sexy attorney. I'm like, attorneys usually don't dress like this with the halter suit, but you looking good, Andy. You looking good, girl. Now here goes dinner that Tamera didn't know about. Hayden evidently didn't tell her that she was inviting Gary over. And my thing is, why didn't Hayden tell her? I mean, and you could see on Penelope's dumb face, which I don't even know why she's bothering with this joke. She's so annoying to me. That's why I really don't feel bad for what Gary does to her at this point, because she's asking for it. They go over for dinner. She can very much see Tamera can't stand him. And yeah, the fiasco begins. Now back at the house, Zach, slow your roll. He got all of these toys all over the place. See, right now he's not even thinking about Fatima's space and her studying for law school. And I want to know what's going to happen when he finds out she got into law school, because now he has her as a mother very early on. This is not her child. I think Zach is he, like always, doesn't think. He's so excited about bringing this child, but he's not thinking about how all of this is affecting Fatima. He's just doing too much. So, of course, she calls her girlfriend over. And she goes through this little scene about coloring outside the lines, because right now she feels like she's being boxed in. She's losing sight of her goals and her aspirations, and she wants to go outside the lines. This is not what she asked for. And she had this talk with Angela, because it's really starting to hit her, the reality of it all. Yes, she wanted to be that ride or die woman for her man, but at the same time, now the reality is starting to set in. You really have Michael. You're really going to be a mom. Your life is totally going to change, and how this is going to, how you going to handle all of this. But her and Zach, because you can tell that she doesn't want to leave him. She's in for the long haul, but they're going to have that conversation. He can't put so much on her so soon, and they're really going to have to work together on this, because one thing I do not want her to do, like many of us, and I've been guilty of this myself, putting dreams on hold for family. And it's a time and place for everything, but a lot of times those dreams die and you never get back to it. And I don't want Fatima to do that. Now, Karen is back at the hospital. Now, what happened to being 100% sure? Karen, you need this DNA test, because you need Zach to be sure, because you're going to need help with this child. But when she talked to the doctor later on, it's as if she doesn't know 100%, right? She's telling the doctor at one time she thought she did. Why Karen acting like she's 12 years old? My mama told me this about the pregnancy, and my mama told me that, and all of a sudden she don't know now? I didn't think you did. Now, back at the house with dinner, of course, Gary is not the best guest. And they have a little talk about the run for, partner. She think it's a good idea, but at the same time, you're supposed to be so cool with Andy too. But so what's up with that? You don't want Andy to be partner now? So he's on the phone talking about his little scheme, and at the same time, Heather's getting some pain and she wants to go to the bathroom. Now, instead of Tamera showing her the bathroom, all of a sudden Hayden jumps up And Gary now makes his move, and he's all up in her face, talking smack, of course, being disrespectful. And then she's a little too close in his face. Like, what do you think about that? Now, this right here is something that I really appreciated. Number one, she's looking at the picture of Preston and his new wife. And of course, it's playing on her emotions. And she would probably react in a negative way in the past before therapy. But now she's seeing it's something that she has to tackle. And she goes to her journal. And I love this because now she's journaling her feelings. She's giving affirmations to herself about, her greatness and, how she wants to be loved. How, first and foremost, Danny, it has to start with you loving yourself, sis, and coming to grips with your past mistakes and realizing why it didn't work with Preston and why you found these bad guys in the past, and we know the root of it in college that those men made her feel less than. The guy that she was really interested in made her feel cheap. So throughout life, this is how she looked at herself. But not only with Danny reflecting on her life, you had Sabrina looking into her in vitro because she wants to freeze her eggs and be a mom. So she's thinking about what's important in her life and what she wants to do for herself. And so as Danny's reflecting and healing, you have Sabrina, looking on her life and her independence and making a decision for herself, not tied to a man. And that's why I said a lot of this season is really reflecting on the women's independence. So you have Fatima, because Andy called her. She needed her back at work because she's on her grind for partner. Then you have Fatima. She's helping her with work. She realizes she has to do what's important for her, right? She needs to get into law school because she wants to do what Andy's doing. And then you have Karen, coming to grips with her DNA and who her father may be and trying to get those final results because she has to focus on her baby. So, journaling is really good and it's healthy. You may cry, you may get a lot out, you may reflect, but it's better than holding these things in. I don't know how the situation with Tony and these children gonna be, but if she's not comfortable with it, she doesn't need to be with him right now. She needs to deal with getting Danny's life in order and don't worry about Tony or any other man. And I love that she's handling this in a healthy way. Now, here you go with Tamera all up in his face. And I'm like, why are you so close? You act like you want to kiss this man. And then he talking smack. And then he goes and he kisses her. But is this a plan that maybe Hayden and Tamera did to really show how grimy Gary is? Because it's weird that Hayden showed old girl the bathroom. But is this something that, Tamera just did and just grimy for doing it because Gary pushed her away after? I don't know if this is some type of setup from whomever, but we'll find that answer out soon. I can't wait for this week's episode. This is crazy. Tamera, you may be getting sucked into some mess, but I hope this is not the case because Hayden will be hurt yet again. Ooh, Gary is some kind of sleaze bucket this season. But you know what? The people are going to love it because they love the villains. Until next time, stay authentically you and live the life you deserve, family. Peace.